Oh. Oh. Where have you just all gone? Everybody just disappeared on me. That's not good. Why did that do that? Just all gone. Oh. Let me mute that then. What happened?
You disappeared. You went, let's get ready to
You
go,
said,
and then you disappeared.
Watch this.
I literally hit broadcast on one computer and then it kicked me out of the chat on another computer. That was some weird shit. Anyway, we're back. Are we actually broadcasting? Let me also hit
looks like
record.
it.
Just so that records as well. Hello.
Question is, are we
Hello.
actual broadcasters?
Yeah.
We're broadcasting, but
We ain't no broadcasters. And that's reverted to top chat again. Stupid thing. Good evening, listeners. Good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are, whatever time it is. It's evening here. It's a very hot evening here. And we're doing live news for August. You've got me, you've got the random one, and you've got Fuzz.
that's the Azov. That's the
Sorry. Yes, Azov.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
right. I always get those the names wrong.
Well, he's
My
a
bad.
fuzzy dude. But I figured I'd turn the fuzz cam. Dan, you got me doing it. The Azov cam on for a little bit, and then I'll spin it around later. But Azov cam is always good for a little bit.
Yeah. Absolutely. So
Do something.
yeah. He did.
He doesn't give a shit.
Yes, so good evening. You've got the three of us. I don't think we're going to get a Mark with us this evening. So we will crack on. We've got some news to get through. And we've got some bullshit at the top to get through. So let's get on with that bullshit right now. Another busy month. It just seems that time is really getting away. And there's lots going on in the James/Maguire household at the moment. So just seems like we've no real spare time at the moment. I don't know if I've mentioned it before, but our house is on the market. And we've had...
No, you.
Did I not mention that before? Okay.
No, this is the first you brought up.
All right, then.
We talked about it, maybe privately.
That's probably it. I knew I'd mentioned it to people. But anyway, I now mention it to the wider audience. Our house it's been on the market for a while. We've had viewings and some cheeky offers, but nothing acceptable. So we've been doing some redecorating. Because you know how houses, when you look to sell them, you literally take it back to like a blank canvas because people come in with no imagination. They can't see that, oh, I don't like that wallpaper. I'm not buying this house, So we've literally gone back to white walls everywhere, how we bought it. So that's been taking up some time. And some of the walls we'd painted were dark. And so it's taken like 3 coats of white to get rid of it. So I feel like I've been painting for months. So we're having new photos done again this week. We're having some drone footage of the house and the area this week as well, so it'll kind of get a relaunch on market. We're going to try and get the agent to do an open house type thing and get it sold because we have found a property that we want to pursue. So there's a lot of things yet to sort of fall in place, and it all has to kind of align, but at some point...
Mike, I'm sorry, I want to make sure I'm not conflating things here.
Mm-hmm.
You had mentioned... was it you were looking at like a former pub property or something?
So there's been a few. The basic idea behind the whole thing is I've had enough of working in the school, had enough of the 9 to 5. We want to find some land with a house, something we can, create some income streams from the land, whether that's, an old pub with a field behind it, whether that's an existing campsite or whatever. We're looking for that kind of deal. So... we have found one. We
have discussed all this. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I just I completely spaced on that for some reason. But no. For reasons we'll discuss after you discuss that. I'm keenly interested in this topic. Go ahead.
Yeah. So we found a property we want to pursue. It's 10 acres of land. It's on an island, off an island. Wales is to the west of England, still part of the UK. It's a separate country, but not really. And off the coast of Wales is an island called Anglesey. It's connected to the mainland by 2 bridges, and there is another sort of island off the end of that island. But so we are aiming to be in that sort of area, northwest Wales. It's right on the coast, a beach 5-10 minutes drive away. So we found a property. It's an existing campsite, an existing business. It's not been open this year, so it's a bit overgrown, needs some, rejuvenation, that kind of thing. But there is an existing business there ready to go. It's got a house on it that we can walk into. It's not perfect house, but it's livable for, a year until, we get everything up and running on the business side of things, get an income stream going and get all of that done. Then we can sort of focus on the luxuries, but it's pretty much ready to go to. The price is where we need it to be, slightly less than our current house. So there's money in there for the the moving fees, the agent fees, setup fees, all of that. We're going to need to buy a tractor, all of that shit. So a lot of things need to line up, but they're slowly starting to. So the place is still on the market. We went to Anglesey the 7th of this month. We spent nearly 2 weeks out there driving around, looking at places. Where's the nearest hospital? Where's the nearest police station? Where's the hardware store? Can we actually live here? And because we've been before on holiday many times. So we were out there. We went to view it twice. It's still on the market, obviously. They won't accept an offer from anyone until that person is sold. So they just want to get rid of the place as quickly as they can. So as soon as we get an offer on ours, fingers crossed, we can put an offer on that, and hopefully things will align and we'll move out there. So I can take my private pension anytime now. I've turned 55. Obviously, the longer I leave it, the bigger it will be, but I can take that. I won't get my state pension for a good few years yet. So I will still be working, but I'll have retired from the main job kind of thing. But we'll be working in our own business sort of thing. So that's what we're looking to do. And just generally, we went this time. We've been on holiday many times, with the kids, the grandkids and all that. But this time we went with a view to, okay, let's be practical. Can we actually live here? And the pace of life is much slower, but that's fine. Everyone is much more courteous while driving. No one's in a rush to get anywhere. You come up to a parked car on one side of the road, people will stop and wait for you and let you go through and wave at you. It's like, fucking hell, nobody does that anymore, around here. Everyone's just in a rush to get everywhere. So it's just a much gentler pace of life. So we are looking forward to that. Hopefully that will come off. I mentioned a couple of months ago a video that I'd watched on YouTube, and ironically Sparkle had watched the same video, just like some random guy on YouTube. He'd grown some potatoes in an old Amazon box. So I harvested mine the other week, and I think I planted them like a couple of months ago, and we got a fairly decent harvest. I only planted like 7 or 8 potatoes, but we got 60 potatoes, something like that. They're not huge, big baking potato size, but, sort of new potato size, just boil them up, butter, spring onion, whatever you want to do with them. And they were fantastic for the sake of because the ones I planted were just old potatoes that had been in the cupboard, started growing legs, and, I was going to throw them away. I had an old box. I had some old compost.
Not even proper seed potatoes?
No, not even proper seed potatoes. Just random potatoes from the supermarket that had been in there too long.
Show title, Random Potatoes.
Random potatoes. I will make a note of that. Shove them in an old cardboard box with some old compost, and a couple of months later I've got 60-odd potatoes. So it's fantastic. I know this is like ancient technology and cavemen were doing it, but, I'm not claiming credit for inventing it.
You're a farmer now, Michael.
I know, that's it.
I was flabbergasted.
I'm buying a farm. I've grown 60 potatoes in a cardboard box. How hard can it be? Yeah. I want to catch up with Random in a minute about some of his stuff, so I will ask him that question in a sec. I'll just finish going through mine. So I booked our booth for Play Blackpool. We have organised accommodation. I am going to RMC, the cave, the Retro Man Cave, this weekend. So driving down there Friday, going to the Man Cave on Saturday morning, going to the Arcade Archive in the same building Saturday afternoon, and then going out for beers Saturday evening and coming home Sunday. So there is me going, Gareth is going, AD is going, and AD's friend Dion as well. So there'll be 4 of us down there. Looking forward to that little retro road trip weekend. I have booked my tickets for Crash Live in November and organised hotel rooms, sharing with AD for that. So a few events coming up. Looking forward to those. Somebody recommended, I believe, it might have been Discord or it might have been a news item, I can't remember, but it's a book called Open Circuits. And it's basically electronic circuits showing
Well, that's the photo book, right?
Pardon?
That's the photo book, right?
Yes. And it's just
Yeah.
showing extreme close-ups of electrical components and sort of cross-sections of them. They've cut them in half and showing you them. Fascinating book. Really, really enjoyed it. Didn't expect to get much out of it, but I found it really interesting. It's just... Have you read it, Scott?
I've seen it. I can't remember, like you, I can't remember where the hell I heard about it. I think I actually saw an interview with the guy that did it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure I did. Yeah, it was on somebody's YouTube channel, but I can't remember which one it was. But it looks really interesting, and it is just all manner of electronic devices just photographed and shown to people. A lot of it's, what's inside. Like they, if you ever see like a sealed unit that has like an RF cap on it, and it's all a sealed unit like an oscillator or something, and they decap it and then take photos of it up close. So just beautiful stuff.
Yeah, fascinating book. What's the phrase? The sum is greater than, the result is greater than the sum of its parts, or whatever, It's just I didn't expect it to be as good as it was, but really enjoyed it. TV-wise, finished watching Modern Family last night, all 11 seasons of it. Really, really good show. I downloaded, I'm sure I've seen a couple of these over the years, but I heard someone talking about them recently, and I thought, oh yeah, there's quite a few of those I need to catch up on. And that's a series of documentaries by a filmmaker called Ken Burns. And he's done them on Prohibition, on, the Old West, on the Dust Bowl, on, I think, Second World War, American Civil War, Vietnam War, just loads of really well-made documentaries. And it's kind of like, almost like Band of Brothers or Pacific and that series where, it opens up with the actual people giving interviews. But this is... it's actors playing the parts of the real people sometimes in it, and then mixed in with actual footage. But he does some really good documentaries, so I obtained a bunch of those. So looking forward to going through those. And the thing so that's me done, pretty much.
Mike, did you watch Alien Earth?
I haven't yet. So I've got a question for you, and I've got a question for Random. The question for you is about Alien Earth, and the question for Random is an update, if there is any, on his electric bike mod.
Oh, well, yeah, I'll go quickly then. Yeah, that has been going strong up until the point where I think I probably broke my wrist. Who knows? Wrists take a long time to heal no matter what you're doing. So that put me off the bike for a while. But yeah, I've been using it all year. It's been absolutely fantastic for what I need. It's like, yeah. You can safely, comfortably buy an Alfa Romeo and not have to worry about whether it's going to work or not because you don't use it. You just ride your bike everywhere.
Yeah. How's your car? Great. I don't use it.
Yeah.
I saw this meme. It was a couple months ago, right when my Harley Davidson had blown up its second engine off the showroom floor, and it was just this picture of an old man, and it said, "Back in my day, all we had was Harley Davidson, so we walked everywhere." Fucking brilliant.
Yeah, it's not, you see a lot of people sort of say the kits are shit and blah blah blah, but then they're like expecting Deliveroo 60 mile an hour, like, no pedaling, just like maniac machines. And it is, it is just pedal assist, literally. But it works fine. Like I'm running a single speed bike, so even in Sheffield, that seems like a bad idea. I've been able to completely change the gearing because it used to be that I had to be able to get up the hills and then you just top out like really soon speed wise. But now, I've got the assistant, so that helps me get up the hills. I can go a bit faster now, and it's great. It just nips around. I have no real sort
So
of
is it
problems with
literally you bought a kit that contains like a battery, some sort of control mechanism, and some sort of drive
battery,
that connects to your tyre? Or does it go in the hub?
Battery, and that's got all the controller in it, and then that connects to. So they give you a complete front wheel,
Right.
and that's got the hub motor in it. And that's it. Oh, and you do like a magnet ring on the crank,
Right.
so it detects you pedaling from that. It's not like torque sensing or anything.
So does it do any
Well,
kind
that's-
of regen, or is it you just
No,
got to
no.
charge it up?
No, you just got to charge it.
Right.
But yeah, it's been with it being front wheel. This one, it means I've got like an all-wheel drive mountain bike, effectively.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's kind of good in some respects, kind of scary in some others. With the Sheffield Hills, if you're like trying to power away from the lights, and then the front wheel goes light, and if it's on like full assist, you then like spin the front wheel up and get a bit of fun. Or like if you start like you pitch it into a junction, like crank the bike over, start pedaling, and then the front wheel like obviously suddenly like powers up loads more than probably your back wheel is. So then that does some weird handling that I'm not used to coming from motorcycles where the rear wheel's driving. So yeah, it's been good. Yeah, I've liked
Nice.
it. It got a hammering in Scotland in January. Was that January? I think in Storm Ewan. So yeah, it's been through all sorts of weather. Not really missed a beat yet. So
Good.
the downside was it took, if you want, you can get it like straight away, but it'll cost you like twice as much, sort of thing. And then like the good deals on prices, you're sort of waiting for like later batches. And then there's all sorts of like Chinese factory delays, and then we've had shipping delays, and then this, and so it turned up about 3 months later than they expected. But I was, having looked at them for a few years, I was fully expecting like 6 months wait, sort of thing. So yeah.
So how does this
Good.
compare to like some of the commercial ones you see? Because man, I gotta tell you, there's some of those things are getting just nuts. I mean, I almost kind of want one, except what would I do with it? But they have like the two I saw recently. One was a proper bicycle. It had not the biggest, almost motorcycle tires you've ever seen that some of these e-bikes have, but something close to it. And there was just some kids on them, and they were keeping up with the road traffic. Was like 45, 50 miles per hour, and they were keeping up with it comfortably, and obeying none of the rules of it, which I'm content with. Go out and do what you want to do. Just don't fucking act like an asshole when you get run over by an actual car. But dude, the other one I saw was a scooter, right? So now, this to set the scene, I'm riding along on my motorcycle, and there's this closed down strip club, and there's this woman that looks like maybe she used to work there, standing on a scooter. Now, I say a scooter, I mean like, think of like a skateboard with a stick, and handlebars, like the minimalist scooter, right? Now, the speed limit there is like 45. I'm doing like 55 or so. So I was worried she's going to pull out in front of me because she had that dopey look on her face. But I go past her, and she whizzes out on this little scooter. And goddamn, man, she was keeping pace with me almost. Like I was only just slightly going faster than she was, which means this little scooter had to have been doing 45, 50 miles per hour. And like, I don't know if it has the braking to match that speed or I mean, I don't see how people aren't just willy nilly flying under 18 wheelers with these things.
Well, some of them are, to be fair.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like just literally just like behind this house. One day, just like I was like, why does it sound like there's a helicopter in the back garden? And it was kind of but like powered down, and it was kind of there for a while, and then sure enough it did fire up and then took off, and it was like, Jesus Christ, that really was like pretty much in the back garden. And it was a kid on a 14-year-old on a pit bike that had got hit by a car. And you know, all the news stories come out and it's like, oh, it's a tragedy, this poor 14-year-old boy and his parents are devastated, blah 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 blah. And it's like, well, yeah, he's riding an illegal motorbike with no helmet. Like he's
Think of
very
the poor
much too.
bastard in the fucking Seat that just had his door caved in.
Yeah, and it's just like, you know, if you're going to allow him to do that, you know, you understand that that's going to happen if they're just twatting about. It's like, so yeah. So in terms of e stuff, there's a lot of e-scooters, but they're not mega fast around here.
So I just sent you
Again,
both a video on WhatsApp. Just check that out.
You've got the proper sort of like, I'd say, respectable bike manufacturers, like the old school people, and they're making sort of quite well integrated mountain bikes and things, and they're kind of, you don't really see them around because, well, they're expensive, but they're a lot heavier than what I ended up with. But then you've got then like the.
So you would say yours has performance that matches the braking capabilities and.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah. Like, okay. Where I mean, it's probably more braking capability because I live in Sheffield, so you end up going, you know, downhill a lot. But then you've got the Deliveroo riders, and they're on like, they look like large folding bikes, but they're all like throttle modded, so they're never pedaling, and they'll go fairly fast. And then you've got round here, you've got the complete scallies that are on. I don't know if you know them, Scott, Surons, which are basically electric scramblers.
Yeah.
So they're actually just motorbikes. Even right. So we've had this heat wave. It's been like
over. I've not seen that brand though. So.
Over 30 degrees weather, like for multiple days, which for the UK is like ridiculous. And you can tell these guys are up to no good because they're still wearing big, thick, puffy black jackets, balaclavas. Yeah. And it's just so funny. Like on my way home from work, there's this one roundabout, and quite often you just see them coming in from one of the other roads. Don't even look what's coming around the roundabout. Go straight over the grass in the middle, and then straight out the other side. And there's like three of them on each bike. And yeah, I mean, how the police just don't stop them, I don't know. But,
well, they've started confiscating them around here now, because it showed a screenshot of like what they'd done. They'd pulled up this kid on one of these things, lifted the back wheel up, sort of revved it, and you know the police had taken a picture of the speedometer. It thought it was doing 62 miles an hour.
See, look, I personally, when I was that age, I cannot think of anything I probably would have wanted more.
Oh,
I mean,
definitely.
had such a thing existed,
yeah.
than one of these e-bikes, right? It would have been mental. And, you know, of course, you know, my parents would have never bought me such a thing because of exactly what I would do with it and exactly what it can do. I mean, we all know what this is, right? And it's horribly irresponsible parents buying, you know, devices that will kill their kids, right?
Yeah.
Now, as a kid, you know, once a kid of that age, I would have 100,000% wanted one of these fucking things.
Mm-hmm.
And in a way, I kind of don't begrudge them that because I would have done it 100%. But that said, what worries me is, you know, I first of all, I've never, now let me offend all the cyclists out there. I've never understood the concept of bicycles in the roadway. And I'll tell you why. Bicycle. Brandon, what's the average bicycle weigh these days? Not the super duper carbon fiber mega specialties.
Probably averaging 14 to 16 kilos.
Okay. What do you weigh?
Probably averaging 14 to 16 kilos.
About the same as a bike.
Yeah. But probably about 70 kilos these days.
So you and your bike together, 100 kilo, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so pedal speed, not electric speed, but pedal speed. Your bike would move at how many kilometers per hour?
Don't know about kilometers, but like
High
easily,
20s,
easily,
30.
yeah, easily cruise along at 15 mile an hour.
So you're 15 miles per hour, 100 kilogram. Okay, now let's just convert that to pounds because what I'm thinking of is in pounds. So you're 160 pounds going down the road, 175 pounds going down the road. I'd say it's an average bicycle and bicyclist. Maybe a little more, a little less. So you've got this thing. You're moving 150 pounds at 15 miles per hour. Okay, a human walking moves at what, like 6 miles per hour, 5 miles per hour?
4.
And weighs maybe, 20 pounds less. I'd say that's a fairly, if you're going to group things together, a fairly close match. Now let's take your average shit hatchback automobile. It's going to check in at, say, 2,300 pounds, okay? 2,300 pounds. And let's say 2,500 pounds, including driver and packages or whatever. It moves at 70 miles per hour. Let's say it's moving at 50 miles per hour. Now let's take an 18-wheeler, right? You got 13,000 pounds. That's a medium truck. 13,000 pounds. Moving at the same speed. Now we take an 18-wheeler, 29,000 pounds, moving at, 60 miles per hour. Where does a bicycle fit in this equation? Does it group in with the human, or does it group in with the 18-wheeler? What do? Put the fuckers there with the. Now, I'm baffled by this. But what baffles me is cyclists fight to be there. And there's different cyclists, of course, are just like there's different motorcyclists. But the ones that get me are the ones they got their prissy little ass up in the air. They've got their super sponsor that they're not sponsored by, but they're mega logo things, and they just kind of get next to each other, and they got their little fingertips on the bar and just pedaling along, singing a song. I have a right to be here. Oh, I'm not following a red light. I am in the motorcycle. I'm in a motorcycle lane. I have a right to be here. I'm a bicyclist. I'm just like a car. And act like utter cunts. Now, what worries me is you're, a dues-paying adult. You bought this automobile. You're paying the road taxes and all. And here comes some little shitbird, 14 years old, on his fucking bikes, and slams into the side or back of your car, and all of a sudden you're the one at legal risk and financial risk for this shit. If I am befuddled by the fact that bicyclists don't fight to get moved off of the roadways and onto the sidewalks where they fucking belong. I got a bicycle. It's an actual pedal bicycle. I wouldn't contemplate taking the fucking thing out in the road with cars. No, there's a perfectly good sidewalk with people. I feel infinitely more matched to the people. I'm always befuddled by the fight that cyclists have to get into traffic and mix it up with vehicles that outclass them in every way. Just fucking baffles me.
What about horses?
Hey, they make a fine glue product, but other than that. Yeah, a horse is also bizarrely unmatched to modern traffic. In a bus lane, this problem solves itself.
Yeah, I mean, there is a, well, in some respects Sheffield's quite good for bikes. In some respects it's fucking terrible because, like, they're like, oh yeah, we've put a load of bike lanes in. They just end and just eject you into the middle of a junction, into oncoming traffic and stuff like that. And so obviously everyone is fighting, quite a lot to get off the road. There's bits where you do have to, but then it's not so bad in a city because everything's. So the reason I cycle is because in a car to get to work, it'll take me from 25 to 105 minutes. On a bike, it takes me 25 minutes flat every time because the cars aren't traveling, anywhere near optimum speed. So yeah, you're not too bad generally in the city. I have in my
do shit on the sidewalk though. Like
sometimes, and
I just think bikes are infinitely more closely matched to a person walking than a car moving. That's
Oh,
just
definitely.
physics, man. Physics. And you know, I just, the thing is, like, I don't wish them any harm. I mean, like, you know, but a lot of bicyclists don't do themselves any favors whatsoever.
No.
No, but similarly, you know, there's some car drivers that don't do themselves any favours. There's probably some, well, there's definitely a motorcyclists around here that don't do themselves any favours. You're always going to get, you know, knobheads, in all walks of life, in anything, I guess.
Yeah, but they really seem to especially love spandex and being an knobhead. So, Mike, funny enough, I'll run through a couple things real quick. I've just been busy and running and gunning, so I haven't really watched or done a whole lot of anything. I did watch 28 Years Later.
Mm-hmm.
Stunning fucking disappointment. What a disjointed, rambling mess with no storyline. Pure idiocy. Thank God our sidewalk gets wet. That way the zombies can't get us. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but it was just one of the dumbest movies I've seen in a very long time. I've mentioned it before. I liked the original one. Liked it for a couple of reasons. I thought its interpretation of zombieism was really, really good. It was just humans with rabies. Like, you know, so they weren't magical. They just were, you know, disease psychopaths. So that was pretty cool. I did like that. What I didn't like was it did the same sins that every zombie show does. And I think in a way amplified a bit because it was a British film where it's like, okay, let's get, you know, crawl over this fucking 6-wheel diesel truck so we can get to the taxi cab and step over these guns so we can maybe find a baseball bat. And it was just, you know, the fucking Walking Dead started the same way. And at one point, the asshole even ends up in a fucking M1 Abrams that by some miracle of physics, the batteries are tied to the bus and still on and working 30 days later. And he gets in this tank and he's like, well, I've got some time skill. What could I do? Let's see how we start this bad boy up and maybe get out of this situation. No, I want to get back out in the zombies. Fuck this. I mean, I hate zombie movies. I really do, I think. But anyway, I watched that. I did grab Alien Earth. I watched a couple, like 10 minutes of clips of it that was on TV, and I'm not sure. I'm gonna sit down and watch it maybe tonight. We'll see how it does. F1 the movie, I've got that sitting there ready to watch. Haven't watched it yet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm cautiously optimistic. I don't like the actors. I don't like a lot about it, but I keep hearing from people I like that it's actually quite good. So I'm going to give it a chance. The
F1 movie is. I haven't watched it yet. I'm obviously a big F1 fan. From what people say, it's Top Gun / Days of Thunder / that kind of film, but in an F1 car. It's that cheesiness. You're going to get cheesiness, whatever happens. But I've heard it's good. I will reserve judgment. Just on Alien Earth, haven't watched any of it yet. Saw the trailer. The trailer doesn't really give a huge amount away, but I edited Dinosaur Pie the other day. Excuse me. And Simon has watched 2 of them and is in no rush to watch any more. So.
Guy describes so many scenes.
Yeah.
It really does. I watched one and I just didn't give a fuck. But and I sit there like, do I delete it off the server and free up the space, or am I ever going to watch another one of these? And sometimes 6 months later, I go back and delete the first 5 episodes, and I never watch the rest of the season.
Yeah, I will give it a try, but not expecting great things.
Got a couple cool pickups here. This one I talk about in Hardware Flashback, but they're on the Azov cam. That is the Atari Watch.
Oh, yeah.
And, short summary, it's well made enough. It looks pretty good. If this thing had come out like in the late 80s, I mean, we're talking a color screen with playable games, just beautiful. Long story short, 2 of the games are unplayable. 2 of them are quite good. So anyway, we'll be talking about that in Hardware Flashback. And then I bought a laptop. It's off of eBay. Just somebody had a great model of laptop listed. And the cool thing is, though, it's a 8086 class machine. Kind of really actually cool. I've got a number of these, but the hard drive one, there's a floppy drive only variant and a hard drive variant, and they're kind of hard to find. But that's the sorry, Azov camming away. Anyway, it's an 8086 class laptop with let me see if I can just move the cam here.
There we go.
Yeah, so
Cool. Mono screen, yeah.
oh yeah. Green mono screen, 8088 class machine, 640K, well 700K of RAM, 20 megabyte hard drive, and 720K floppy. But anyway, the point is, I got this bitch in laptop case with it. This is a hold on, let me read. So it's a late 80s American Tourister laptop case. So it's in really good condition. It just needs a little rinse off and cleaning. And then I'm gonna just use that thing for my work laptop. It's too cool not to use. There we go. Azov cam is back up. So yeah. Anyway, that was a kind of a unexpected find when I bought this laptop and I opened up the box and there's this cool laptop case. I was like, all right, done deal.
So what would it run? DOS, CPM? What does it run?
Oh, I mean, it's a DOS machine.
Yeah.
It runs. So back when I had mine, actually, that's the one I took over the Gulf War with me. I had DOS 5.0 on it, which seemed like a very good match. DOS 5.0 runs on it, doesn't consume too many resources, and gives you a lot of the modern tools that you would want. So, it's the green screen. It's kind of like a Game Boy screen, in that there's a lot of blurring and distortion if you run fast. But dude, I was like playing Barbarian and SimCity on it over in the desert, But I've got that one is in okay shape. I got a number of them that are in good shape, but $100 I couldn't turn it down just for the parts alone. The hard drive on them is unfortunate that it always dies. There's some rubber components that just liquidate, and the hard drives just die. And nobody has a really good working setup for replacing it, because it's sort of a non-standard hard drive bus. So
Right.
I don't have the software chops to take on the translate. I know how to build the hardware part of the translation bridge, but the software part, I don't have that expertise, and I don't know if anybody else is willing to go in on it. And even then, you can run anything you want to off of the floppies. So I don't know. It's
So is it not just as simple as an adapter like the old iPod videos? You could put in an adapter from that to compact flash, then compact flash to SD, and put an SD in and run a solid state iPod.
No. It's. I wish, and in fact, that would be the dream. But the problem is, it's a very non-standard IDE. So remember this. XT class machines were absolutely on the way out when IDE was on the way in. So there's very little crossover. You had a lot of MFM and a lot of ROL drives. And then IDE was very sparingly available on XT class machines. So in this case, the XT, it is an XT class laptop, and basically it's a PC XT in a laptop case. And the hard drive is a modified cousin of IDE. So you can't just do a straight, pin for pin adapter and have it work. And the motherboard really doesn't talk to it well. What you're going to have to do is you're going to have an intermediate processor spoofing the 20 megabyte Connor, IDE, and then just going and retrieving the data off of flash. So it's a little bit more than just a straight compact flash connection. So, but no, I got a number of these things that are. Oh, actually, I'll show you a good working one right here. And the batteries are kind of neat too. It's a lead acid battery that. Oh, you know what? That's in the other room. I can't show you that. But anyway, it is one of my favorite laptops. I have a floppy drive version new in the box, and I have a hard drive version that actually still works, and it will work until it doesn't work. So those hard drives, it is what it is. So
it is what it is.
That's all I got, sirs.
Any more for any more? Oh, we don't.
So yeah, I didn't really go through what I had actually been doing, but it's not a great deal that I can remember because things have been a bit mental. Because like Michael, I am arsing about in the housing chain, and I have picked up the keys to a new place on Friday, and have certainly not moved in. I've moved important stuff across, like CRT and all of my games, things like that, networking equipment. But there's some work we want to do on the house before we fully move in anyway. So that's kind of a bit of a gradual process. But yeah, it's been a lot of... It's all very well, like, us having picked a very good solicitor. And, my solicitor's really good. I'm really happy with him. Everyone complains about the solicitors usually. But that's no good if, like, someone further down the chain is the shit solicitor. And then you're still held up by that bottleneck. So, yeah. We got there.
Solicitor, eventually. That sounds like quite the job description. Where do you I'm a shit solicitor.
Yeah.
But fortunately I'm not in because I've just forwarded a mail that's just come in. Apparently I have a parcel from Gareth Hamer on its way to me.
Ooh.
So fortunately I'm still here. I will still be here to receive it. No idea what it is. Tune in next month to find out.
I can't wait.
I see in the meantime, we're sort of holding off on any new TV stuff because we had a bit of a detour into the latest Australian Lego Master series, but we've mostly been just watching Vikings and going through that, which has been all right. And then film-wise, the only stuff I could really remember of note was watched Final Destination Bloodlines, which was quite fun.
Yeah, I've not got around to that yet. I've not watched a film for fucking ages. Just not had like 90 minutes with free time to just be able to sit down.
I mean, we don't tend to watch films in one go at all. I don't know if when the last time we recorded, but yeah, watched Happy Gilmore 2. It's probably better than I expected it to be, but yeah, maybe not the best. And then what was the other one? Oh, the latest Superman. We watched that, which ended up then we're now sort of having to sort of interleave. Well, we just did Suicide Squad, not the Suicide Squad, which is I've already seen that one, but yeah. We apparently need to watch all of those, and then we might watch Peacemaker. Back of watching Superman. So yeah, games wise, played a lot of Donkey Kong. I've completed the main quest 100% all the way along that.
Is this a new one on Switch 2, or is this?
Yeah. And then it's now opened up in classic Nintendo fashion of like, oh, here you've seen the credits. Now here's the second half of the game.
All right.
And so yeah, just about to sort of embark on that, but then shit's got hectic.
How are you feeling about the Switch 2? Because Gareth showed me his the other... Oh yeah, I forgot to say, when I was on a holiday in Anglesey, Gareth came up. He has a camper van. He came up Friday afternoon, spent the afternoon and most of Saturday with us. So while he was there, he showed me the Switch 2, and he said it's a better screen, it's a bit bigger, but the shop and everything is a lot more slick. It's just a lot faster. And that was about it.
Yeah, the general OS and everything's better. The screen is better in some respects and not in others, but I hardly ever use it handheld anyway. It's just I'm like, if it was
worth
just
an upgrade if you've got a Switch?
No, not yet. Not at the price. I mean, not with the sort of the games library. But if it was just me, yeah, I wouldn't have bothered. But it has had many hundreds of hours of use already, Probably maybe like 1,000 hours between two of us. So, it's been, and a lot of that is stuff that we couldn't have played on the original Switch. And it freed up me to play like Zelda, not Tears of the Kingdom, Echoes of Wisdom on the old Switch, because it meant I could, commandeer a Switch for myself.
Yeah.
So yeah, I played through that, and then started Final Fantasy IX. Was the other thing I'd started. Sort of working my way through Disc 2 at the moment. That's been quite nice. I'm sort of not overly grabbed by the story, but it's just because I played 7 again not that long ago. Like, the jump in sort of overall polish and presentation over Final Fantasy 7 is ridiculous. So yeah, that's about it really. The rest has just been packing and moving and DIYing and shit like that.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to the actual move. I fucking hate moving house.
It's just like I'm so glad, like, we didn't have to just get it all done on Friday and like, do it all in one go. But then also it's like, but then it kind of dragging it out is also bad.
Yeah.
But then it's kind of nice to just, we are in a bit of a relaxed situation where we don't have to just be absolutely mental about it. We can like go to the house, do a bit of work, sit in the garden and have a beer. Maybe do a bit more work, go home and chill out, watch something. So yeah, it's not so bad.
All
so
right.
Mike, continuing though, I did want to continue the discussion a bit about the move you're making.
Yeah.
So like I say, I have been planning and working on a very similar project for a while now, and it's like you. I'm a little bit behind where you're at. But it's the light is nearing the end of the tunnel, shall we say?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we got like 1 year left on the mortgage, and that'll be just done, and then just be able to sell the house outright without any consideration of having to juggle things,
Yeah.
and then just stashing aside what was being spent on mortgage, and then once the mortgage is gone, all of that. Just stashing that cash aside to have a reservoir for the jump and the moving costs and all that. I'm having to get like I've already got it planned out to a pretty high degree. Like, I'm not gonna hire a move, and this is what I was thinking out. Thinking on for you. You don't have the same volume of items to move that I do.
No.
I don't know what the practicality would be for you. So what I'm considering, I'm going to do is I'm going to go out and buy a truck, like a 40-foot truck with a 25-foot box, enclosure. And just, leisurely pace, once we buy the farm, load up, maybe 10 arcade machines, a whole bunch of pre-packed totes of household goods, put a vehicle on the tow dolly, drive down to Florida, drop everything off, come back 2 weeks later, do another load at a gentle pace, So is that a possibility for you that would make sense, is to buy a truck and do the move yourself and then sell the truck? Because at least in the U.S. market, you can literally buy like a diesel 40-foot box truck for like, say, $80K, and then turn around and sell it for $80K later after you've put, 10,000 miles on it. And it'll sell for the same thing you paid for it. So, now what I'm going to do is once I sell that truck that I used, I'm going to turn around and use that same money to buy like a backhoe. So, basically I'm just using the same money 2 different times and accomplishing what I want to accomplish. So is that because you have a truck driving background, is that a possibility for you, just buying a truck and then selling it when done?
It would be a possibility. The reason I probably won't do it, so last time we moved, so I put my house on the market, Paula put hers on. Hers sold first, so she moved into mine. So we moved her out of her house, put the rest of her stuff in storage. Then we moved out of mine and put all my stuff in storage. This one wasn't ready, so we lived in the caravan. And then we got this house, and then we moved everything from storage into this house. So we moved house like 3 times in the space of a couple of months. And we sort of sat down in first night in this house and said, we are never doing this shit again. we will pay some fucker to move it for us. So so we are going to probably just get a removal company to do it. Now, whether it all goes straight in the house or just down the road, like the one we've got our eye on, like quarter of a mile down the road, there is a storage place there. So we could get them to, right, here's a key for the lockup, take all this shit down there, put it in there, and we could just, move ourselves and some immediate amenities that we need and sort of get things as we need it. So that's an option. But we probably won't, end up even renting a truck and doing it ourselves. So definitely not buying one. We'll just pay some motherfucker to do it after what we went through last time.
Right on. Yeah, I'm now it's the interesting difference between you and I on this is you're looking at doing this as a a business, like having some income stream. I haven't even contemplated that, other than like what maybe some low hanging adjacent, like selling timber, from the land to fund things, or maybe having like some adjacent farmer that wants to grow hay and harvest hay, and we split the money, something like that.
Yeah, so
where like he mows.
Yeah, go on.
Oh, something like that, where basically somebody else mows down my fields, and I get money for them doing it.
Yeah.
Some passive thing like that.
Yeah, so I think you're further down the road towards, actual retirement and finishing work. I'm doing it early because I've just had enough. So there's been a lot of changes at work, and a lot of them I'm not happy about and I want out. So that sort of sped it along a bit. So it will need to be a working place, to give us enough to live on. My pension, should I take it now, doesn't give me enough to live on for the rest of my life. So we need some income streams. It already has a couple. So it's already set up as a caravan site, a working campsite. It's already, so the current owners farm willow trees. It's very fast growing. It has a lot of uses. So we may continue that. The problem is we've not seen any of the financials. We've worked out roughly what we think it brings in, and it's enough for 2 salaries and profit, just on one income stream alone. They will show us all the financials once we move further down the road and get to the stage of accepting offers and all of that kind of thing. But they are currently, they have been running it as, a campsite and also farming willow. So there are local farms that use willow for art projects. You can use it for firewood. You can use the bark for all different kinds of things. It can help dry out land. It does all sorts of stuff. So there's that to investigate. There is a huge field in the middle of the property they haven't done anything with, and it's currently got a farmer's sheep on it. So they've clearly got some deal with, the farmer next door. Like, you put your sheep in here and mow our hedges and we'll call it even. We don't know what the actual deal is with the local farmer, but there will be, things to be done, like that.
Yeah. I want to do like, ducks and chickens and maybe some goats and, basic stuff. I don't want anything big like a cow or whatever. But I've not thought about doing any of that for an income stream unless it's passive. But honestly, I don't understand enough about the topic other than like the cursory understanding, like, that you can make certain deals with neighboring, farmers for certain things. But
well, if you remember in Clarkson's farm, in the last season of Clarkson's farm, some guy brought him some willow trees. Now, they were growing him on Clarkson's land. I think it partly dried out, that field for Clarkson. They needed the land to plant some more trees, and they said, I forget the exact wordage, but they said, like, we'll come back in 2 years and buy them off you and make cricket bats out of them. So there is money to be made from, harvesting willow trees. I just don't know if these ones on this place, is it the same willow? Is there one kind of willow? How long does it take to grow, thick enough to make a cricket bat? I don't know that kind of stuff yet, but...
I'm not sure of the nature of the American cricket bat.
No. No.
Not great.
No.
Well,
maybe table tennis bats.
Well, I don't know. Certainly in our, we're in the tech industry. Our American office is just basically inhabited with Indians, pretty much, to much confusion of our interns this year, who were like, hang on, I thought you said there was an American office. I was like, yeah, there is. It's like, why is everyone Indian? Like, because the only people that apply to the jobs in America are Indians. So there must be some cricket seepage, at least in the tech industry. But
Well, I don't know. Hey guys, I gotta step out for one quick second and grab something at the front door, and then I will be back in the audio with the news. So you'll hear me quiet for just a minute.
Okay.
we won't, because you're quiet.
Yeah, no, we won't. You'll hear me be quiet.
Well, I didn't want you to wonder where he went.
Yeah. I also may have to step out, but it's looking good so far. We've got all 3 grandkids here tonight, so I think one of them is probably already asleep, and the other 2 are getting real close to it. So I don't think I'm going to be called out to break up any fights or anything. So we shall keep going. We can hit the news then. I think we are just about ready to do just that.
All right.
Speaking of grandkids, so my eldest daughter is due to give birth any time, I think within the next week. It's like 10 days to a due date, something like that. So that'll be grandchild number 4. But they invited us round for a barbecue earlier. And like her husband, my son-in-law, showed me this brand new barbecue he's got set up. Oh, look at it. It's gas on this side. It's charcoal this side. Oh, yeah, that's great. He turned the gas on and he's like, can you smell something? I'm like, yeah, dude, I can smell gas. Like, oh, shit. So the regulator that attaches to the gas bottle was fucked. It's leaking gas everywhere. So he's like, oh, well, I think I've got a bag of charcoal. We can do that. And then he said, but I've never done a charcoal barbecue. How do you fancy doing it? So, fuck. So they invited us round for a barbecue. I ended up fucking cooking everything.
Excellent.
I can't wait for the next invite. Hopefully they'll get the gas fixed by next time. So that's where I've been all afternoon. Anyway, let's hit some news. Gareth Hamer, the aforementioned, sends this one in. Fallout 2 full remake in the works. And this is... I said this last month, I think. It seems to be like everyone's making games just using different engines, newer engines to make them look better. This one is no different than that. It's side-by-side shot here on gamingbible.com. It's a video, I think, actually. I'm not going to click on it, but it shows the original graphics and the remake. Does look a lot nicer, but it just seems to be the current trend at the moment to redo a game.
There's still a bit of, making games in other engines that are sort of a bit more contemporary but better, sort of, or different. But I think Unreal Engine, because that's essentially free to use and learn on, and people are you sat there, you're like, all right, I need to learn this because this is my job. I need a project. Rather than trying to also come up with a game idea and then make something. It's the old kind of thing, like the first thing anyone used to do is try and remake Tetris or World 1 of Mario Brothers. But now, it's kind of like, we can take this game and then just use the modern engine to sort of tart it up and gives you something to, and it's a good thing to sort of market on, of look how fancy I can make this look, the sort of thing. So I think it's just that. A lot of these, they never really get past the first sort of, hours or so of content. But
yeah,
maybe this will, maybe this won't. Who knows? There's going to be a lot. Look, it's just scanning down. There's going to be a lot of Gareth Hamer. So thank you, Gareth Hamer. This next one, it's kind of, I think, part instructional, educational, and part sort of jokey parody. And it is a YouTube video on how to make a CPU from scratch, in brackets, any % speed run glitchless. And it starts with 1, get a rock, 2, smash the rock, 3, now you have 98% concentrated silicon dioxide, purify it to 99.9% pure silicon dioxide, and I think you can see where this is going. So yeah, it's basically sort of, it is teaching you that, yes, this is how you make silicon, and then convert silicon into a wafer that you then lithograph or whatever. But it's also a bit of a joke, as it's 1 minute 40 of how to make your own CPU. But yeah, quite a neat sort of spin on that. I think, you know, to sort of very quickly educate people on, because you might not think like, oh, I've got this CPU here and it's like, you know, super fancy, but you know, essentially it is, you know, a rock. Yeah.
Yeah, I did watch that when it came in. It was interesting. Good video. This is just outright confusing, again from Gareth Hamer. A finite Atari machine. And so basically what they've done is they go through a lot of blurb. You'll need to read it all yourself and take it in. Make a hot drink before you do and find a comfy chair. But basically what they're saying is, you know, Atari games were on, you know, 4 kilobyte cartridges. And what they've done is randomly generated 4 kilobyte chunks of data, a maximum of 4,096 bytes. So that means there are 2 to the power 32,768 possible ROMs. Okay. And what they're doing is they're just grabbing random chunks of data, burning them to an Atari cartridge and putting it in and seeing if it runs, is what I'm taking from this. And they've got some screenshots there of like graphical glitches, which is amazing if it even puts a display on the Atari, because, you know, as we know, there is no OS on there. So, I mean, am I reading that right? Is that all they're doing?
I just brought it up. I'm having a look.
I mean, some of them look a bit like Yars' Revenge, to be fair.
Yeah. Yeah. But I'm
Yeah, so,
amazed
like,
it
yeah,
even
they're-
gives a display.
They're essentially mining them on a GPU.
Yeah.
And, you know, basically just creating the random. And it's just, it's an electronic version of an infinite number of monkeys and typewriters
Exactly, yeah.
making an Atari game.
Yeah.
I guess we've reached the point at which we now have the ability to do the exact random monkey experiment. I mean, here it is.
Yeah, here it is. I forget who it was now, but it was one of the, you know, classic Atari programmers in an interview, on a documentary, whatever it was, I can't remember. But they would hire a new engineer at Atari in the very early days, and if they couldn't get a display on the 2600 in 2 weeks, like, they knew that guy's going nowhere, just get rid, you know? And if they gave a new guy something to work on, you know, here's an idea for a game, go and make it. If he got a display and something on screen in the first 2 weeks, they were like, this guy might be okay. It's like, so I'm amazed they've even got
the thing, though.
graphics here.
What I get about it is, all right, so, you know, the processor starts up. Its code says, look at this address, which is going to be somewhere on a ROM chip,
Mm-hmm.
and start executing instructions at that address. So if you deposit legitimate, you know, properly formed instructions, you're going to get instructions executing. And some of those are going to produce some sort of visual result if it's conducted during the time, you know, that is within the area outside, well, inside of the TV scan line generation, because it generates scan lines directly. The CPU is acting with the television interface adapter chip to function as a GPU. So the CPU pauses game code, executes graphical drawing duties, stops the graphical drawing duties, does some game code computations, jumps back to graphical duties, draws the screen through the TIA, stops, does some game calculations, you know, and you've got to fit all your game calculations into that area that's not spent drawing the graphics. We all know this. But so if you had a rule set, though, and maybe this is addressed deeper in this that I don't see, but if you had a rule set that told it, okay, don't execute instructions during these times, and just something to guide it, you might get something more than just interesting screen junk, you know. I'm curious why they didn't use some sort of rule set to. Maybe they did, and I don't see it. 12 pages I have to scan through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think maybe the point of it was that they were wondering if, you know, if you left it to be sort of as random as possible, can it eventually come up with something? Because you could easily say, you know, what's oh god, what I'm trying to think of the word. You know, for games that, you know, they don't do fully random levels, but they do a procedurally generated. Yeah. So you could do it like, here's our entry point. We're always going to start with that. Then, you know, you're going to do one of these 10 instructions next, and then, you know, and branch out from there. rather than just leaving it fully to chance. But maybe it's more
I mean,
fun
I
to
guess what I'm thinking is, maybe some sort of rule constraint so that you're going to focus in on the usable or interesting stuff and eliminate just the endless, random, unworkable stuff. So anyway, interesting. So we got one here, Gareth Hamer. A canceled Animaniacs Game Boy Advance game has been discovered, and you can play it now. Well, hopefully it's good. I always thought Animaniacs was a very edgy, interesting, innovative cartoon. I mean, some of the shit they got away with. I mean, just maybe second only to Cow and Chicken for things they got away
Cow
with.
and Chicken. Yeah.
Dude, where else do you get Captain Butts Pirate? I mean, come on. But
Oh yeah, my kids were of the right age that they'd loved Cow and Chicken, so I used to sit and watch it with them.
dude, I love Cow and Chicken. I mean, that was a, I would say like Ren and Stimpy definitely had the harder edge compared to Cow and Chicken. Cow and Chicken was every bit as subversive and deviant as the other one I just named. The one I was just talking about.
Animaniacs.
No,
Ren and
Cow and
Stimpy.
Chicken.
Ren and Stimpy, yes.
Ren and Stimpy.
Speaking of which, have you guys seen the documentary about Ren and Stimpy?
No.
My God, okay, so you really have to watch this. It is every bit what you probably think. Like, you look at Ren and Stimpy, and you think, what kind of person creates Ren and Stimpy? You're like, how fucked up and weird was that place to be? And it says, yeah, basically they came in drunk or fucked up every day. They got more fucked up throughout the day. They made some cartoons. The network said, you can't do this. And he goes, yeah, we already sent it. We're doing it. And they were like, hey, you said you're supposed to do one of these a week. And it's like, yeah, art takes time. Piss off. Hey, I'm moving in with my 13-year-old girlfriend. Have a nice day. Peace out. That was essentially the documentary. And you're like, wow, okay, he was really messed up.
Yeah. That's the guy who makes Ren and Stimpy.
Yeah.
Yes, it is exactly that. But watch the documentary. Well worth it. One other one here that I had queued up, I just want to hit while I have it, also from Gareth Hamer. Super 8 camera brought into the modern world. So the guy took, and this may be a random kind of thing as well, too, I think. But he got a Canon 514 XLS for $5, and it is a 8mm Super 8 camera. Crazy grain, crazy colors, just yeah. And he set it up to work with a Raspberry Pi 4, doing the duties of capturing the video. So, what an interesting idea. Yes, sir. Fine.
Yeah, it was interesting to see. There's always been sort of it's coming back into fashion again. I think with film coming back around again. But sort of like what we call like toy cameras, where you've got sort of cheap plastic lenses and things, and like Holgas, which were notoriously built badly, like light leaks, and every unit was completely different. So people quite like them for, you never knew what they sort of each one would look like in terms of the photographic output. And yeah, it's a nice aesthetic.
I don't know, just before you move on from the camera one, I don't know if this is just people I've encountered recently, or if it's more general. I'm sure you'll tell me if you've come across it, but I think 2 or 3 people at least in the last 2-3 months have said to me, talking about hobbies and things, I'd really like to get into photography. I play around with the camera on my phone, and I just think I'd like to explore photography a bit more. So, we went from a time when, we had phones and we had cameras, then we had digital cameras. Now they're all in one, and people are using the phone as a camera. And some of the cameras in these modern phones are really, really good, as good as probably a medium range camera in most cases. And people are really starting to play around with the cameras, with the settings, and it's getting them more interested in photography. And I've encountered a few people recently who want to explore it a bit further.
Yeah, it is funny because myself, like, I just don't have an eye or inherent ability, and there is something to it, that there is some, I don't know if you want to say intangible, but not easily defined aspect of photography, where I can take, my camera phone, and I take vastly different pictures than somebody else with the exact same phone. And forget about it. With actual cameras, I just do not have an eye for that. And it's amazing, though, how, like, two people can use the same device and get such utterly different results. And I'm willing to admit that's absolutely the case, and that there is such a thing as a photographer. It's not, I mean, like, no, like, the thing, but there are so many fake things like that. It's like, oh, I'm this, I'm a barista. You put shit in a cup. Anybody can do that. That's not a talent, There's you're not a skilled accomplished. No, you just put hot liquid in a cup. You're not. No, it's a fake thing. But there's a real skill set to it. It may be difficult to define. I know they have photography classes, and you have, concepts of, composition or whatever. But there is something to it that is a skill set that I legitimately think is there. So, good stuff. Got another one here from Gareth Hamer, and it is, I've always said competition is essential to, quality products, right? So here it says, Sony wouldn't have delivered the power of the PS2 without the specter of the Dreamcast, as former Sega and Microsoft exec. Every incumbent needs a challenger to punch them in the face. Now, what a great sentiment, because they're going to make the game systems as good as they need to make them to differentiate themselves from what's on the market. If what's on the market is, let's say, hypothetically, the Nintendo Switch. And if they feel that they own a segment of the market that nobody else is competing in, then why bother to really innovate or do much new? And I think when, Nintendo was facing do or die kind of, and they needed that, the GameCube was the kiddie console. They were relegated to a third world gaming status, and they needed to get out of that funk. So what did they do? They did the Wii, and they reinvented the NES Magic. Great. So then they did whatever the hell the Wii is, then the Switch, and they feel that they've got this new niche with the Switch. So what do they do with the Switch 2? It's like when a band does that one hit song, and then they try and do the follow-up one. It's like kind of the original one, but just turned slightly 10 degrees to the right, trying to recapture that without making too much effort, because they want to strike while the market's there. And I think that's absolutely the case. So, damn shame about that Dreamcast. That was the one I wanted to succeed.
Yeah, I had one from Gareth Hamer. We've had one remake in a modern engine. This was another one where, so you may be aware that Warcraft 3 did get an official remake and didn't go down very well with anyone. So some people have been remaking it in the StarCraft 2 engine, and it's a custom campaign. So they think they will be safe from Blizzard's banhammer. And to be fair as well, Microsoft have been pretty good about pet projects, and the various tendrils now of Microsoft. So yeah, if you like a bit of Warcraft 3, this may well be interesting.
Got another quick one here from Gareth Hamer. Tomb Raider composer faces 16 months in jail over COVID loan fraud. Good. So this guy overstated. I saw this article earlier. He overstated turnover and financial challenges in his company to secure additional loans. We called the Paycheck Protection Act or something that didn't do any of that. And you guys, I guess, called it the bounce back loan. But from the hysterical mental overreaction to a slightly bad flu season, the people that took advantage of that to rake in all that money, I am so glad to see them finally. It's been years, and we never thought they'd be held to account. But finally, some people are getting roasted for that shit they pulled, trying to take advantage of that horrendous overreaction and government overreach. So good for that. I'm sure a Tomb Raider composer is going to fare really well in the prison.
Yeah.
You want me to play you a tune? No, I want you to suck my dick.
Play my skin flute, bitch.
Play a tune on this motherfucker.
I'm gonna blow
You know
on
the
my
rusty
shit on my
trombone?
dick.
Yeah. Can I be daddy? Yes. Now come here and suck mummy's cock.
Good for him.
Yeah. One here from Random Dave. It's a very short article, but there's lots and lots of comments. It's Tokyo gaming mecca Akihabara set to lose its landmark former Sega arcade after 32 years. It's scant on information. I was hoping for more pictures of it, in its heyday and what have you, but there aren't any.
What do you expect from IGN?
Yeah, that's true. I'm amazed it's lasted so long. So it's sad to see it go. But I mean, imagine the horrendous rental of, that location in Tokyo, or even the property, They must be getting offers left, right and centre to sell that property in such a prime spot, right opposite the station. So I'm amazed that there even is still a Sega arcade. Not that it's owned by Sega necessarily, but, even in this day and age in such a prime spot. But anyway.
Oh yeah. I mean, it does seem interesting that it has stayed as long as it has, as you say. It's not like Sega themselves are really publishing or producing a great deal of arcade content. Yeah. But I
know we could go on probably. We could have probably a panel discussion, and we maybe should on what the hell happened to Sega. But man, what a tragic, was it suicide? Partially. Was it inability to read the market? Partially. Was it, I don't know, but you went from the makers of, take Sega of 99, 2000, right? They're making arcade games like 355 Challenge, which is just unbelievable mental, 3 screens.
Or even just go back a little bit further to that prior generation, competing with and in some regions beating Nintendo.
Oh, Nintendo and Atari and every other competitor.
Yeah.
So you had I just like to think of that 99 crest because they had Sega Pinball. They had, the arcade division was making just epic freaking games that were incredible. And the Dreamcast was coming out. Then a couple years later, they're just falling to bits. And to me, the Sega collapse is as tragic as the Atari collapse. But we know every nuance of the Atari collapse. We truly do.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if we have that same visibility over what the hell happened to Sega.
Someone somewhere is putting together an epic 12-hour YouTube documentary on it. Guaranteed.
I'll watch it.
Yeah.
So got a good bit of Sega news here, sent in by Mr. Lanky and Mr. Hamer, that there is a new edition of the Fenrir or however you pronounce it. Basically, it's the optical drive emulator. And it looks like it's got some updates. The old ones getting cleared out. The new ones are going to be apparently a little less expensive. But this is good. Because optical drives have a limited lifespan and a lack of repairability for many cases. So, good to see.
A quick one from Gareth Hamer. This is a sort of something that I've seen cropping up a bit more recently, is people restoring early show demo builds of games. We've just had the Gradius collection come out, and that had some specific arcade version. It's all arcade version, but they're specific ones from Tokyo Show or something that had slightly different level layouts and bosses. And this is another one where some teams are putting together the beta sort of E3 2003 prototype of Far Cry in the Far Cry engine as a mod. But yeah, if you're a fan of Far Cry, I do quite like the original one. Yeah, they're trying to put together all the weird, wacky mutant stuff that was.
Wasn't there a movie
shown.
in the making, or did it come out for
Far Cry? Don't know.
I'm sure I saw a Far Cry movie story. That they were doing it.
Doesn't ring a bell. There's Borderlands, but not really the same. But
No. Anyway, another from Gareth Hamer. I noted down a possible show title before as well. What was it? Something random said. A lot of Gareth Hamer. That's what it was. Yeah. And it truly is a lot of Gareth Hamer. And this is 15 incredible DOS classics you can play in your browser. And we've seen these things before, obviously. I don't know where they're hosted. I don't know how long they'll be hosted there for. But you can play them in your browser, which we already know, but it kind of just makes it a list of 15 good DOS games, which is never a bad thing necessarily, but I would just go through a couple of the highlights. Dangerous Dave is there, Sid Meier's Civilization. We'll skip Dune 2, Commander Keen, Carmageddon, we've talked about on the show. Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis. I'm trying desperately to finish that on my phone before I upgrade my phone, because I don't know how easy it is to port it over to the new one. Must be fairly easy. The Oregon Trail, Command & Conquer, XCOM, Wolfenstein 3D, of course. King's Quest, Prince of Persia, Secret of Monkey Island, it goes on, and Blood is down there as well. Basically a list of DOS games.
I can report that Far Cry was a movie in 2008. Can you guess who was the director?
No.
It's a video. I'll give you a clue. It's a video game movie that we've all clearly forgotten about, so it can't have been very good.
Doesn't sound like it.
A video game movie we've forgotten about, so it can't be very good. Who else? Who directed Doom? Was it him?
No. Who did direct? I don't know who directed the film. It's of course our good friend Uwe Boll.
So it was a
That's
film
all
and
the
went
good films.
nowhere.
Yeah.
Wow. So I got one here that it's wow, what a neat idea. At first I was like, well, why would you bother doing this other than just a stunt? But okay, kind of makes sense. So I read about one of these earlier, and I guess I hadn't really thought about why until I read the update article. So anyway, Castlevania NES to SNES conversion. And you think, okay, NES to SNES conversion. What are they upscaling? What are they doing? So it's actually kind of interesting because the same guy done Legend of Zelda, and it's out there, it's available, you can get it. And there are certain bits in Zelda where the game just bogs down, or you get tremendous flicker. And some of the where those the knights are marching around, you'll get them flickering in and out, or they'll jumble up and the whole game will just bog down, So anyway, they went to basically NES software on the SNES so that with the extra processing power and ability of the SNES, it's able to power through those bits and not have flicker or slow down, and the games run better. So what a neat idea. So I actually figured I want to try this. So I downloaded the Legend of Zelda one, and I'm going to flash it over to my SD to SNES cart as exhibited at the New York Toy Fair, and give it a go and see how it looks. So, but if you look, there's a link in that article. So if you follow our show notes, you get the link, you go to the link. There is the number of these games, the SNES conversions, and you just go to archive.org and download them. So what a neat idea.
To break up the Gareth Hamer onslaught, we do have a David Gyrick entry. He simply just says Pokemon, and if you are a fan of Pikachu, Squirtle, and Charmander, and PC peripherals that have annoying complementary software, Razer have done a series of keyboards and mice and headsets with plastered very gaudily in Pokemon heads. So yeah, that's what you want to do. You pop.
One here from Gunship. It's a marketing spam. That's what it is. I thought, who's Gunship? John Carpenter and Gunship, Tech Noir 2, a claymation masterpiece featuring John Carpenter, Charlie Simpson, and Tim Capello. Watch here. This isn't just it's a video. Is it a film? Because underneath it's got like the lower third from Doom with the the health bar and the face and all of that. But is it a film? What's going on? It's a video. The video's narrative follows a young girl whose obsession with arcade glory accidentally leads to her baby brother's abduction by the arch-villain from the original Tech Noir video. To rescue him, she must venture into a video game world and channel the power of legendary gaming heroes. So it is a video. John Carpenter's involved. Obviously, we know that name. So it can't be terrible. I shall investigate that a little more later. And you can in your own time. As Scott said, using the show notes page, where all the links discussed in the show will be.
Well, here's a link to discuss in the show. Super Mario Brothers Wonder is unplayable on the Switch 2 without an online update.
Okay.
Yep.
So, physical media enthusiasts, I would count myself amongst that, have been closely eyeing the Switch 2 as they try to figure out how viable the platform is as an entirely offline machine, and thus how easy it will be to keep using it, not just in the years but decades to come. The latest Switch 2 firmware has a worrying caveat, as it's completely disabled access to Super Mario Bros. Wonder without an additional patch. We can confirm that we can confirm that Nintendo disabled offline play. Nintendo disabled. Now, whether it's malicious or through ineptitude or whatever, but disabled offline playability with Super Mario Bros. Wonder card between firmware 20.1.1 and the 20.2.0, according to a Physical Media Watchdog. The hell? I can confirm the same thing happens on a North American Switch 2 with the latest firmware installed. I turned off my internet connection, popped my Mario Wonder card in, and upon trying to launch the game, I was hit with an unskippable update prompt. So, the firmware on your console updates and it forces a version of the game update.
I wonder if they made a cock up in the Switch emulator, and to sort of get around it, it was easier to patch the game than it was to fix the blunder, which was probably put in place to make a lot of other Switch stuff work properly.
That could be legit, but also when it's Nintendo and they do things like this, you got to think back to the DS when people were modding their DSs. And then Mario Kart DS came out, required an update to the firmware, and bricked a fuck ton of consoles.
True.
So maybe it's caught out some mods, I don't know. Maybe it will catch out some future mods, I don't know. But it's going to be a game that lots of people are wanting to play on the Switch too. And in order to play it, you've got to update.
I don't like any of this, and I'm not going to do it.
No. Well, you can't. You're
If
not
only
going to Switch
someone would
too.
I know, but that's why. This kind of dumb shit. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing
What
it.
it needs is a visionary to come out with a console that all the games are finished and burnt to ROMs, as straight
Error.
away.
Bug-free games.
Bug-free games. No updates needed.
How do you know they're going to be bug-free? We're going to ask developers for bug-free games. Oh, right.
All right then, sorted. Why does no one else think of that?
I saw a great headline and sort of upper third this week. It was something like, I'm going to paraphrase it. It was like, UK Space Agency to close down. Scientist says UK space flight may fall behind as a result. No shit. I wish I was a scientist. Fucking hell.
But you guys were doing so well.
I know. I can't believe it. We almost got out of the atmosphere at one point.
Excellent.
That's what happens when you run rockets on sugar. Oh dear.
Like rockets on socialism.
Got one here. It's
What's it powered by? Socialism.
Other people's money. And foreign investment.
yeah.
Oh dear.
Yeah. So earlier we had a Fallout 2 remake. They've lost it.
Oh. Oh dear. Dear me. Oh.
This is why we can't have nice things.
No. Oh. That's what happens when you run rockets on socialism. Oh, fuck. Oh, dear me.
Right. Okay, back to the show.
Poor randoms like that.
Pull yourself together, Michael. You're supposed to be a professional. Now, to be fair, I never said I was a professional.
No. Not at anything. Not one.
If you're thinking of moving to Wales and becoming a big time streamer to supplement your income,
Yeah. I could grow potatoes. I can go on the internet.
Oh, that's great.
I want to see Mike being a makeup influencer. Yes, we had a Fallout 2 remake in Unreal Engine 4 earlier, and I found one sent in which was someone who's, it's not really a remake of Fallout 1, it's kind of a tribute to Fallout 1, but it's Fallout 1 in what looks like the Doom engine, but it's actually running in GZ Doom, so it's got a little bit slightly more advanced than Doom, but it looks pretty fucking cool, and it's, you know, they're trying to go for the full RPG mechanics of Fallout and everything, and essentially do what Bethesda kind of shied away from, shall we say, with Fallout 3, when they took that to a first-person sort of shooter, and they're trying to sort of make, quite a faithful thing. So, I mean, it's going to take them a lot of work, I think, but, so no idea if this will ever get finished, but I really hope it would, because I would like to play through that one day.
And speaking of Bethesda veteran and father of the Elder Scrolls, Julian LaFay has passed away, aged 59. In quotes, he was a visionary who fundamentally shaped the gaming industry as we know it today. I will go along with that, as I don't know enough about him, I'm afraid, to challenge it. So, happy to take that at face value. R.I.P. Mr. LaFay.
Certainly the Elder Scrolls has gone on to become quite the financial success, shall we say.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, got one here from Peter Gibbs, and he says there is a C64 Black Edition coming out, the Mini. So they're doing the Mini in a black casing with a black joystick. Okay, fine, fair enough. Different color plastic, you know, good. Where's my goddamn Amiga? So, we did see a little bit of movement on that. Not actual product shipping, but apparently they did show the Amiga off at a show, and there have been rumblings that the dam may be breaking and that thing may become available at some point. Now, there's also a new C64 that we barely discussed. I mean, outside of Simon's disagreeing with some people on the project. But have you guys ordered this thing yet? That new Commodore 64? It's interesting because it's not the C64. Like, I mean, it does some of the same stuff, but it uses some original hardware, it seems. particularly the SID chips. So I just put an order in for one. I got the medium edition. They had like the Founders edition. I've had enough of those, and they had the sort of beige case edition. This one has the clear case, but like $380, and it seems like worth grabbing, at least just to review it for you guys. Either you two in on this at all, or
Well, Mike's had to step away,
yeah,
but
we
it's yeah, no, it's not floating my boat particularly. I don't
What
know.
about
Well,
the
I mean,
Amiga? Would you consider buying the full size Amiga when it comes out?
I don't know. Again, I mean, I've still got. I mean, it's only a Amiga 500 that I've got with extra RAM, but that's still sort of here, and I've kind of got that. And there's obviously a lot of more convenient. There are a lot of conveniences that could be had with the Mini. My mate loves his, but yeah, I'm trying not to sort of get too much more shit that I'm finding less and less time to sort of dick about with.
I stepped out. Are you talking about the new 1200?
Well, a couple of things. One, the the new C64 Ultimate that's come out in 3 different flavors.
Mm-hmm.
I ordered the middle flavor. I want to see what this thing's about. I mean, it's interesting in that, like, I think that the C64 by Retro Games is a wonderful product. I mean, one of those once in a decade products. But so it's interesting with a HDMI capable running game off of SD cards. Somebody decided to introduce another iteration of the exact same idea. Now that said, I did buy one. I'm curious in seeing how it works even if nothing else, review it for you guys. But there's been some rumblings that Amiga, not the Mini, which is already shipped and is right here in front of me, but the full-size Amiga replica may actually be the dam may be breaking. That might be coming to market somewhat soon. I am all over that. So I asked Brandon what he thought, and what do you think, Mike?
Of all the systems, like the Amiga, is one of those. It's tricky to sort of put one together through emulation. I mean, you can do it, but there's so many different models and so many different things you can do with it. I get my fix at the moment. I've mentioned it before with the Cloanto products. A full-on Amiga that I could just plug in, hook up to a modern screen, and load games on and play and mess about with. I would probably be up for that. I would.
Do you have the Amiga Mini?
No, I've not. I don't think I've got any of the Mini products, actually. I might have an NES somewhere, but I don't think I've got any of the others. I was going to get the PlayStation 1 for the USB controllers, then I heard people saying they weren't all that, so I never bothered.
Well, so I got the Amiga 500 Mini that RetroGames.biz did, and it is exactly that. The only thing it really lacks is a functional keyboard.
Yeah,
and
I would want the whole keyboard and everything. I wouldn't buy one that didn't have it.
Yeah, I mean, I bought it because it was the only one they had. They didn't release the full size, and I don't know how much trouble it would be to actually. I mean, in terms of decasing that board and putting it inside a tower or something, super easy. But actually having it talk to a keyboard, I don't know. I've not even tried to plug in a USB keyboard with it. It actually it works great. It powers up and it plays Amiga games. So but I really want that full size replica in the worst way. So I'm excited to hear something about that.
Yeah, and we do have someone submitted the one about the Amiga 1200. A couple of people actually. Peter Gibbs sent it. And Random Dave sent it, full-size Amiga 1200 coming soon. With a port of Settlers 2.
Mm-hmm.
Great. When the hell is it going to ship?
Yeah.
Well, I think I saw somewhere they're saying October. Either, I don't know whether that's official announcement or a Kickstarter campaign starting, perhaps, or something. Maybe not so long, too long. Another one from David Gyrick. Everything he sent this month seems to have come through flagged as spam. But this one is just called Money, and and it says took a long time to make real money, so that's possibly why it probably thought it's some bad money making scam, but crypto nonsense. But actually, this was something that I was discussing with someone earlier in the week, and this was Capcom coming out and saying that they basically made no real money until the PlayStation 1. Because Nintendo took so much money, off them, and so what happened was, they paid Nintendo up front for all the manufacturing of the cartridges. They had to decide how many they wanted and sort of overestimate it often because the lead times were such that if your game was a hit, you couldn't just go back to Nintendo and say, we want more games. They'd just turn around and say, well, that's another 6 months you've got to wait. Mm-hmm. So you had to kind of hedge your bets, pay all this money to Nintendo up front, wait 3 months for them to be manufactured, then you ship them into stores where you get to invoice the store, and then they have 3 more months to actually pay you for the product. So you're just sat out of pocket for like half a year before anything comes in. And then, if you don't sell your what you've got, what you had manufactured, you're basically fucked. And then Sony came along. They had like 1 week turnaround times, lead times on manufacturing, even for like, extra manufacturing after the fact. You gave them 18, like half the price essentially that you gave Nintendo to manufacture it. But if you didn't sell them, you could send them back to Sony, and then they'd only charge you the 200 yen that it cost them to make the discs. They would refund you all the rest of the money. Whereas Nintendo were just like, "Nah, sorry, son, we've got your money." So, the way it worked with Sony was just, they came and, it was like, they did disrupt the market essentially. So, partially because they could, because CDs were a lot cheaper, but also because, Nintendo could have, they could have refunded some of the cost and reused the cartridge shells and things like that. The RAM chips were, ROM chips, were, they were what they were, but, you probably could have got someone in a Vietnam factory to desolder them and put new ones on of a different game. It was just sort of Nintendo being Nintendo, really. But quite interesting that, sort of Capcom, you think, must have made a fucking shitload of money on the NES and the SNES. They had loads of hit games, but didn't really make a great deal of money out of it, thanks to Nintendo.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, Nintendo.
Good job, Nintendo, especially on that Switch too.
I saw a bit of a meme this week. I didn't submit it. It was like some kid. I think we've seen similar ones before with previous gens. But it was like some kid, this little child in Brazil couldn't afford a Switch 2, so he made one out of cardboard, and his father posted the video. Nintendo sent around the lawyers and shut him down.
We sued him and took the mud floor of his mud hut.
Something else that might be being shut down, according to Charlie. Something else that might be shut down, according to Charlie. There's been a lot of stuff about adult games. Is it banks withholding payments for adult games? Is it PayPal saying they're no longer going to let you buy adult games? Or is it the platforms themselves? They're all arguing amongst each other. But one here from GamesRadar.com. Grand Theft Auto, Duke Nukem, and Saints Row are at risk amid pressure to remove adult games from Stitch, itch, and retro platforms in general. So it's all just a big hoo-ha over nothing. I'm an adult, let me play an adult game. And when I say adult game, it's like Duke Nukem. I mean, okay, there's some adult content, but really, come on. I'm an adult, let me act as such.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of, as with a lot of these things, sort of, there's the severe things that they want to not sort of associate with, and could breach terms of service, but unfortunately it's then just got sort of plastered with a blanket sort of, oh shit, we don't have time to sort out what's what, let's just take all sort of adult 18 plus stuff down for now. And,
Yeah. One of the great
You know,
quotes of the week.
You can't do that if the game is on a physical cartridge or a disc,
Hmm.
because there's like,
with no bugs.
well, not a bug to be found, sir. But there's nothing. Looking around all these physical games I've got, there's racks above. Like one day I'll turn the camera around. There's racks of games up here, but there's absolutely nothing like. There's nothing Nintendo can do to take this from me. Fucking nothing. They can't, sort of sending over Leroy Nintendo to break in my house and get shot. There's nothing that they can do to change my relationship with that game or my possession of that game. And that is why I'm not doing it, not doing the digital thing. No, sir. This is where it goes, and worse.
Yeah. One of the quotes of the week for me was about 4chan. Did you see the story about 4chan? Like the
the British government tried to fine them like millions, and they're like, yeah, fuck off.
Yeah. So the UK government and their Online Safety Act sent messages to 4chan saying, you need to comply with the Online Safety Act and shut down all this, unfettered content, and you've got users on your network who aren't registered. We don't know who they are. And 4chan said, like, we do not remove Americans' First Amendment rights because some foreign bureaucrat sends us an email.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like,
brilliant.
remember Starmer and Ursula tried that same shit with Musk,
Yeah.
It's like, we demand, and he's like, you go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
That's the only answer you're going to get.
Yeah.
Just go fuck yourself. Not happening.
Yeah,
Try
another one.
freedom for once.
While on the topic of Nintendo being Nintendo, we've got another one from Charlie. And this was the news that Japan's biggest charity speedrunning event weren't allowed to have Nintendo games because Nintendo told them they can't make money playing Nintendo games.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd think, like, just use some logic. Like, they're gonna be broadcasting to however many hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of people, playing gameplay of your game, of people enjoying your games, which was gonna clearly make people think, oh, do you know what? I might play that. How's the best way to play it? Oh, maybe I'll get a Switch and pay for Switch Online and play the classic games on there, or they might not. They might just rip it off, but. All positive buzz for your company. Jesus Christ.
We don't want no free marketing. No, sir. Another Nintendo one. I don't think you covered it while I was gone. It came in from... Oh, it's me. Nintendo survey about physical versus digital games. We were just talking about such. If you don't like Nintendo's controversial game keycards, you can now let them know directly. They put out a survey that you can go and complete. Do you like physical games? Strongly prefer physical, somewhat prefer physical, neutral, somewhat prefer digital, strongly prefer digital. Hopefully everyone chose the top answer and they'll continue making cartridges that taste weird, but I doubt it. I doubt it very much.
Well, I look at it very simply. I already filled out my survey. I gave my response by not buying the new console.
Yeah.
And they can look at it and go, well, because obviously I have a Nintendo account, which was mandated through the Switch. And actually, no, I think it was the 3DS I created that Nintendo account for. So they look at it and go, oh, he got a 3DS. Oh, he got a Switch. He didn't buy a Switch 2. Wonder why. So I already filled out my survey.
Yeah, my Nintendo account got me, similar to you, I did it so that I could play on whatever console it was. And then they were like, well, when you buy this game inside, there are 50 free Nintendo stars. Register them on your account and spend them. I'm like, okay, what can I buy? You can have a new wallpaper for your smartphone. I'm like, fuck off. Like, really?
Yeah, no, I have... Oops. I gotta move this keyboard before he goes for it.
Yeah.
No, I've got less than no. I have negative. I have hostile interest in that. No, sir. Absolutely not.
Hostile interest.
I think we're entering the David Garrick block.
Yay.
I think this is the last one flagged as spam. The rest don't seem to be. This was the article that Zoomer's spending on video games is down nearly 24%. And looking at the data, it's down on a lot of things. I don't know what they're all spending their money on, other than nothing apparently.
Soya milk.
But everyone else is kind of, everyone else is spending a little less on games, but not so much them. But perhaps it's because of the enshittification of the modern games market as it is. People are just playing like one game, and that's their game that they play, and sometimes that's a free-to-play game.
It is, and well, one, they make horrendous choices. Like, they buy, $35 hamburgers on DoorDash on 4 monthly payments,
Yeah.
and then are really confounded at the inability to participate in the housing market. So, I would say there's, without going too deep down the rabbit hole, there is some legitimacy to a lot of their complaints. I mean, when you flood the market with foreign workers and they graduate and can't get jobs because they don't want to pay American workers, and you have shipped all the factories overseas and imported foreign workers for what's left, and you utterly cut them out of the job market and out of the ability to, form a family or, purchase a house, that needs to be fixed, or they're going to become very radical, and we must address that. And that's where a lot of this, socialist commie shit like the guy in New York is coming from. So a lot of them, I will be, willing to concede on their behalf that they don't have the money in many cases. Some of it due to, them being basically written out of the American dream. And then another chunk of it is their idiotic choices they've made with the remaining agency to go out and buy $35 fucking hamburgers. So there's that too. But, it's just a very distasteful period for gaming in general for all age groups. But these guys they want Fortnite and they want Roblox, and I'm curious. Like, so I gave my level best. I wanted to try, so I sort of looked. All right, what are like the top 3 games out there that people are doing? Right, Fortnite, Roblox. I forget the third one.
Minecraft.
I wanted that is huge, but
PUBG.
I don't try that. But I
not
thought,
anymore,
okay,
I don't think.
No.
let's see what these games are about. So they're free to play. You just grab them off the PlayStation thing and play. So I did, and I was just I don't know, maybe it's the Gen X mind or whatever, but I was unable to get the point. It was just mindless crap and shovel. It's games I wouldn't play, So I gave it a level, I gave it a good try. I said, all right, let's see what these games are popular for. I think it's just because they're available and they're free, because it can't be anything else. They're just crap.
Another David Garrick one, Computer Entertainer Free for All. Some of you may know this was a video game magazine, not one I'd heard of, but it's the only known publication in the US that regularly covered home console video games in the mid-'80s, and their point is that most console magazines went out of business during the crash, except this one. I don't know how true that is, but they are all now digitized and available for free on the Video Game History Foundation website. Ever read an issue of it, Scott? Any good?
No, I can't say I have, but when I check it out, it's available, right?
Yep. Yeah. Exactly.
So something else that's unavailable suddenly is, and I didn't realize necessarily that this hadn't come to pass already. AOL is such a weird thing that they still exist in some ways. So anyway, AOL at one point was the internet in terms of public access in America, certainly. And they did really interesting things with marketing by mailing out oceans of free discs that you could reformat and use for something good. And I do appreciate, like, I had literal, because they'd send the disc to everybody. They'd be attached to magazines and shit. And I ended up with like a box of just AOL discs that were great for using. But anyway, they have ended their dial-up service after 30 years. So I didn't know they still had it running.
No.
I mean, it's something that's very cheap to do. You just have a bank of modems and a small server, and But I didn't. I guess they shut down that group, and that's over with. But I didn't know they were still doing that.
No, I got. We used to get over here a bit later than that. Was the CDs? You get the CDs, the checkout at the supermarket and all that. I'd used so many of those for coasters. It's untrue, but I remember Adam Curry, who used to be the MTV VJ, invented the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
The RSS. He worked at MTV, and he's always kind of ahead of the curve, internet-wise and new technology-wise. And he said to MTV, they were on AOL. They had the AOL keyword MTV, and he's like, well, I can buy and register MTV.com. Why don't you do that? They said, no, that's fine. We've got the AOL keyword. We don't need it. He said, well, do you mind if I do that? And they're like, no, you go ahead, do it. We've got the AOL keyword. Everyone's on AOL. And then he later sold it back to them for like hundreds of millions.
Good work if you can get it.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, we're on AOL. We don't need a .com.
Well, it's interesting because the local area I'm in is just thick with AOL history. There is now I don't know, Mike. Do you remember? I think maybe Mike, you might remember this above many folks that listen to our show. Even, do you remember a company called UUNet?
Vaguely, yes.
Yeah. So that's how most people remember them. They were like one of the first backbone kind of providers that really existed and all, or more of a broker of backbone services and all that. So the guy that owned that, of course, all that went away. It's worth nothing today. But at one point, it was worth quite a bit. And there is a house that off of the major highway that goes into D.C. The foliage is gone in the winter, and you have just the right angle. You used to be able to catch a glimpse of a full-size X-wing that he had on a post in his backyard. And when the house was like, I don't know financial what happened, if it was, foreclosed on or if he sold it. I don't know. But that was one of the local urban explorer destinations in Northern Virginia, was to go see the X-Wing on a stick in the woods. So anyway, there is another area that I commute to work right through this area, and it's AOL's Millionaires Row. And it's all these houses that I think now it's been so many years, a lot of the houses have been sold and bought and whatever, that it's not all, but it was at one point almost all AOL. So right around like 99, 2000, when I moved to this area, it was, those were all AOL millionaires, and I'm sure that, like I said, that's evolved some, but AOL history is all through this place. So but not dial-up anymore. So one thing that is sure to be history if you're in the UK, but we can't make it here in the US, is in Camborne. 80 on Friday the 12th is holding a one-of-a-kind expo. Now, I'm hoping when he says the 12th of September, yes, okay, he did put September in there. So he'll be at a place called The Hub, and it's in Camborne, Cambridgeshire. So if you're in the area, drop by and pinch 80 right on the cheek.
Yeah, I have been to a couple of those in the past. I've not been able to get to the last couple. I'm not going to this one. It's like 2 weeks after the road trip I'm doing next weekend, so I'm not going to make it to this one. But they are good events. They're just little community events, load of consoles set up, a bar in the corner run by Lord Conrad, and just, a lot of the regulars go catch up with everyone. And, the good little community events. But, it's a 3-hour drive for me down there and a 3-hour drive back the next day. So I do like to try and make it down every so often, but not been to one for a while. But if you are at all able to, you should do so. Link to buy your tickets is in the show notes.
Hint, hint. Got one from Gareth Hamer. Just says, I found this webpage. It's a webpage I'd also found at some point. And I've forgotten about, and it's a guy who's made a new Game Boy Color circuit board, but he's made it out of a transparent PCB. It's I mean, I was going to say it's kind of ruined a little bit by the top half still being kind of pretty dense with traces, so it looks pretty much like a yellow PCB, but then the screen's in the way there anyway. There's a picture of it with a transparent shell, which then the batteries kind of block the complete see-throughness of it. So in full effect, like, you don't really get a great deal of transparency through this whole thing, unfortunately, but it does look kind of cool. Don't know how much it cost him to do, whether it was worth it. I'd hazard a guess, possibly not.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a bit of a shame. Yeah, just like I say, unfortunately, yeah, you don't really get the full effect of it being see-through, really. I'm looking forward to the sci-fi future where you've just got a piece of glass and that's then got everything on it, and there's no visible technology.
Do you remember Blake 7 Random? Are you too young for that, or do you know the show?
I'm not really too young for it, but I didn't engage with it.
Because they had like a see-through supercomputer on there called ORAC. That was the shit. I did used to love Blake 7. Very good show. What's this? So a couple of catch-up ones. Charlie also sent in an article about PayPal providing problems to buying adult games on Steam. Random's entry there for the Amiga 1200 and its version of Settlers 2. And then David Gyrick hits us one that isn't spam. And it's Monty Mole Returns. It's on timeextension.com. He's a much-loved character that kind of lost his way a little. 2 classic Monty Mole games are getting remakes next year. Which ones are they? I would guess it's Monty Mole and... oh, God, what was the one with the great tune? Completely slipped my mind. Let's see. Following the announcement, blah, 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 blah. Oh, Wanted Monty Mole, which was the first one. Monty on the Run. That's the one with the great Sid tune in it, yeah. So those 2 are getting remakes. Does it say platform? Is it the next?
Everything? Or are they...
Or is it everything?
or is it Steam and...
It's a company.
I don't
It's
know.
a publisher of physical media as well as these. Blah, 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 blah.
Oh,
It's a stretch goal on
it's
the
a stretch goal
Next,
for the next
Yeah.
year. Okay.
which obviously got crazily funded. Not crazy that it got funded, crazy the amount of funding it got. Just shows the love behind that system and team. Much congratulations to them. Can't wish them enough success. So yeah, I do like the original Monty Mole. Maybe a little bit primitive going back playing the original now. But it is a great game. And Monty on the Run I always loved. And certainly has a great theme tune as well. So thank you, David Gyrick, for not sending us spam.
Mm-hmm.
Well, got a quick one here and then one that I think is worth a little bit of discussion. So Peter Gibbs sent us one here that there is a He-Man game coming out for the Switch. So I guess I'll have to wait a bit till it comes out to PS5.
I think it's coming to everything. I think you're
Yeah,
right.
yeah, it says here Switch, but yeah, hopefully it does. You know what it looks like to me? It looks
Golden Axe.
like it is Golden Axe.
Yeah.
He-Man Axe, whatever. But you know what? If it's good, it's good. So look forward to checking that one out. Now, one that popped up kind of out of nowhere all of a sudden is the Vectrex Mini. Now, I don't even know who they go through for licensing, if anybody, or how it's done. My sincere hope is that I can't remember. I know I asked Jay Smith this question like 20 years ago. But my sincere hope is that that Jay Smith is somehow the controlling entity of this thing, because he would, I believe, do the right thing. Absolutely. But what a neat thing. I mean, it has an AMOLED screen, and they're going to do like simulated vector on it. I mean, I could see this being a really cool thing. I love my Vectrex, and it's one that. I can't imagine not having, but it's also one that, because of the specialty of hardware and unique nature of it, that having a modern clone of it that just plugs up and works on a modern TV, I don't see any reason you couldn't do just HDMI out and run it on any screen. But certainly on the included screen, this seems really cool. So, what do you guys think? Are you guys in for this one?
It's very interesting they've done it and chosen that system. I would need to see the screen because I've got Vectrex emulators. I've got them on PC. I've got them on, I think, the Steam Deck. Maybe the Pandora 2. But it loses its magic. I mean, there are some great games on it, don't get me wrong, but they kind of lose the magic when they're not Vector. I would have to see one running. It's not a day one purchase. Be very interesting to see it running, and if it's good, looks good, and the magic, of the screen pops when you play the games, then I can see me picking one up because, mine's got the buzz. I've not done any mods to it. I'd literally took the back cover off, blew all the hair out of it, cleaned it up a little bit with a paintbrush, and that sorted out a few of the issues it had with the screen not being centered and a bit wavy and all of that. But I've not done anything else to it, and at some point it will need work on it. And they're not the easiest thing to work on for someone like me, anyway. So, a mini one that you can just plug in, fire up, and play the games. Yeah, I think as long as that screen works, and that's, it will live and die on that for me.
Well, partly that, and the joysticks, if they get that right as well.
Mm-hmm. Be great if it
me,
supported the original joysticks.
Yeah. Whether it would. Yeah.
Do we know anything else about it? I mean, I've just seen a screenshot of it at Gamescom.
And a brief article saying it exists.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's like people reported that. Oh well, we saw it out and about at Gamescom. We didn't bother to go to the booth and ask them for any information or
shoot any video, ask any questions. No, didn't do any of that.
The original one is super, super complex and beautifully done. So, at 150 pounds, is that going to include one of those controllers? Are you reproducing that to the original quality, or is it a lesser quality? Or, oh no, it doesn't include it all. You have to use your original. Oh, that's a different animal.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what is it? Details, people, details.
Yeah. And what about you? I'm guessing you're in.
Yeah, just for the what the hell is it?
Shits and giggles.
The best way to find out what the hell it is. I guess that's kind of my job on this show is to find out what the hell things are. So I can order them and get them to find out what the hell it is. So
did we have a name for a segment once on this show? Like what? Oh, what's inside that?
Yeah.
Do you remember that? What's inside that?
Yeah.
We should bring back what's inside that. You don't, Random?
No.
Yeah, Scott did it on a couple of things. I can't remember. He'd some cheapo products I think he bought and stripped them down. Someone asked, "Oh, how does this work, Scott?" or whatever. And let's see what's inside that. And we saw what was inside it. I can't remember what it was now. I'll have to go back and dig them out.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
We've been at this for more than a minute. So.
Yes, we have. We have indeed. We won't be too many more minutes here though, because we've got one left. Who wants to talk about Mortal Kombat?
The news story is that it's they're including the WaveNet edition of Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, which was originally the online multiplayer arcade, for the arcade machines. And so that's kind of interesting. But in general, this is actually quite an interesting compilation, is because sort of originally everyone just thought, oh, they're just going to do Mortal Kombat 1, 2, 3. They might just do the arcade versions. They might do the SNES and Genesis as options as well. But then they said, oh no, we're going to do all the Game Boy versions, the Game Gear versions, and all this. And then they're like, we're either going to do the two terrible games that are on the PlayStation, Sub-Zero and Special Forces, So yeah, they're actually like going all out, and a lot of the time, these collections, they get so close to like actually doing a complete compilation of all of the the varieties, but sort of fall short somewhere. And with this, they've just sort of gone, yeah, fuck it, here is like pretty much literally everything. So it's kind of interesting from that point of view. I don't think it's going to have the same. Well, I don't know. It could be digital clips, so it's like whether it's going to have the same sort of level of supplementary detail as an Atari 50 or the Llamasoft collection. But I mean, there must be quite. You'd imagine by the nature of Mortal Kombat, there's a lot of like cool behind the scenes, original video footage capture of the actors and so on. So there's plenty of stuff that when they started going to live action CG, FMV cutscenes and stuff. There's plenty of stuff they could do there, as well as obviously interviews. So yeah, it could be quite interesting. I'm not really sort of jazzed to. I enjoyed playing Mortal Kombat quite a lot over the years. I was sort of the right age for it, but it's not something I've continued to want to play necessarily.
I think it was a great when it came out. It was just such a great new direction in fighting games. It was, it was an attention grabber. It looked good, it moved good, it sounded good, but it does not pack a wow factor in today's world with so many other things out there. So, yeah, there's some nostalgia for it. Yeah, it's cool, but it's more of a product of its time, I think.
Yeah, definitely. And it was something a bit different than Street Fighter, and depending what system, it had blood and guts. But yeah, played it at the time. Don't want to play it again. It's probably not changed a whole lot since then. Well, all right, everybody. That is the news for this month. Thank you to everyone who sent news items. In particular, Gareth Hamer, David Gyrick, Charlie sent in a few. Peter Gibbs sent in a few as well. And, of course, Random Dave.
I was going to say, dumb Dave Lanky asshole.
If you're out and about at expos like, where, like, say, the Amigo is shown or the Vectrex Mini or something, feel free to walk over, ask pertinent questions, and maybe send it to us and let us know because nobody else does. It just falls to you, listener. So maybe go over and ask a question about what the hell is this?
Yeah.
Take your phone on record, go over there, ask some questions, record the answers. We will just freely drop that straight into the show as a segment for you.
Oh,
you
that
can be on our show.
Outcome, done deal.
Man in the field.
Yeah, man on the street interview. Yes, all right. Thank you, everyone who joined us throughout the broadcast. There were a few commenting in there. And thank you to all those who listen back later. Show might be a little late, but if you're listening to it, you already know that. Because I'm away the end of the month. I don't think we'll have all the bits in and organised before I go, but possibly, you never know your luck in the big city. So, yeah, that's about it. Say goodnight, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
And Spinal, you didn't come again. I've got a present for you when you join Live News again. You need to make it.